revenue assurance contracts, and even charges against Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. All have been paraded with great drama, but ask yourself today, where are the convictions? Where is the closure? I didn't intentionally do this. On the other hand, prosecutions involving NDC figures have been quietly discontinued. The Saglami housing scandal. I have nothing against NJTV, please. Okay, I'll hold it. Thank you. On the other hand, prosecutions involving NDC figures have been quietly discontinued. The Saglami housing scandal, which drained over $200 million, the Senate OBS project, the cocoa board fertilizer scandal, the ambulance case, and even the Unibank collapse, all dropped under the familiar phrase, in the public interest. Public interest or partisan interest? That is the question Ghanaians are asking. And then there is a troubling contrast. William Atuasian, convicted for misappropriating 90 million Ghana cedis from Capital Bank, was granted bail pending appeal on health grounds. Yet, Edu Boahen and his wife, accused of a smaller amount, were slapped with an outrageous 200 million bail, reduced only after public outcry. One man is treated with extraordinary leniency, while the other is punished before trial even begins. The double standard could not be clearer. Colleagues, this is the heart of the matter. Justice in Ghana today is uneven, selective, and partisan. What we are witnesses is not an impartial law enforcement, but political theater, designed to intimidate opponents, protect allies, and consolidate power. That is not the justice the people of Ghana voted for, and it's not the justice our democracy deserves. We find the continuous public commentary and media trial by the Attorney General on the ongoing prosecution of the former Director General of the National Signals Bureau, Kobina Edu Boahen, to be both unlawful and improper. The Attorney General's duty is straightforward: to prosecute the Edu Boahen case in court, not in the media. As the principal legal officer of the state and an officer of the court, his mandate is to assist the judiciary by presenting evidence that has been properly gathered through established investigative procedures. Sadly, what we are witnessing now is not the pursuit of justice in court, but rather a media trial. By making premature pronouncements and passing judgments in the public space, the Attorney General risks undermining the integrity of the judicial process. Instead of remaining an impartial officer of the court, he has chosen to act as an inquisitor, drawing conclusions outside the courtroom and attempting to force those conclusions on the court of law. But funny enough, Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Frimsai has criticized lawyer for Edu Boahen, Samuel Atachia, for pushing narratives in the media to put pressure on the case. But we'll send it to the media. It is trite knowledge that the Attorney General and his deputy chose media trial instead of court trial. They just love media trial. So we are asking, is it proper for the Attorney General to make sweeping claims about an ongoing trial before the court has ruled? Could this media trial posture prejudice the minds of the public even before evidence is fully attested in court? If the accused is eventually acquitted, will such prior commentary risk fueling perceptions that judges acted out of political bias rather than on the merit of the case? Does this not set a dangerous precedent that could weaken public trust in the judiciary as an impartial arbiter? Shouldn't the Attorney General focus be on prosecuting the case in court rather than winning a parallel trial in the media? We are not against public discourse on matters of national interest. However, when the Attorney General himself leads this discourse and turns it into a running commentary in the media, the ends of justice are completely defeated. Justice must be served in the courtroom, not in the court of the public opinion. We must all remember that the principle of innocent until proven guilty is the foundation of our legal system. Emotions, political sentiments, and media spin should never be allowed to take precedence over the rule of law. We therefore demand that the Attorney General must withdraw the Republic versus Kwame Kobina Edubuayin case from courts, as the evidence clearly shows that investigations were shoddy and incomplete. Pursuing a weak case not only wastes the court's time, but also exposes the AG's office to public ridicule. By prosecuting without credible evidence, the AG risks turning justice into persecution and settling a dangerous precedent that erodes public confidence in the rule of law. A media trial may win headlines, but it cannot stand the test of law. For the courtroom is guided by facts, not rhetoric. Every moment wasted on a poorly grounded case denies the justice system the attention needed for more serious national matters. The AG's role is not to play politics with prosecutions, but to uphold justice with integrity. Failing to do so reduces the office to an instrument of propaganda rather than a guardian of fairness. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we also demand from the Attorney General to bring clarity, truth, and balance to the trial of former National Signals Bureau Director General, Mr. Kobina Edubuahin. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, during proceedings in court, categorically stated, further investigations have revealed that no cybersecurity system of the description in January 30th, 2020 contract was ever received by the Bureau of National Communications or by its successor agency, the National Signals Bureau, or by the government of Ghana. An inventory confirmation from the National Security Secretariat shows that the equipment was never received into stores, as is the practice in the public services. This was the foundation of the allegations that Mr. Edubuahin, a former NSB boss, had presided over the loss of state resources in the procurement of a cyber defense system. However, new evidence from the very company that supplied the said system flatly contradicts the Attorney General's claim. International Security Consulting Holding, an Israeli-based global leader in high-level security solutions, has written directly to the lead counsel of Mr. Edubuahin, Mr. Samuel Atachia, in a letter that we have a copy of, dated May 28, 2025. The company stated emphatically, "We hereby declare, and for the avoidance of any doubt, that all cyber defense systems procured by the NSB, supplied under a confidential agreement signed on January 30, 2020, with an associated continuing service covenant, were fully delivered to Ghana's national security." We believe, therefore, that this revelation strikes at the very heart of the Attorney General's case and raises fundamental questions about whether the matter was pursued in this manner in the first place. ISC Holding Limited is not a fly-by-night entity. It has decades of experience working with governments, defense institutions, and intelligence agencies across the globe. In its letter, the company stressed, "Our consultants are seasoned professionals with extensive experience acquired through years of service in the Israeli Security Agency and through international assessment, supporting government, defense institutes, and intelligence agencies." It therefore clarified, first, we take this opportunity to emphasize that our response refers to Mr. Edubuahin doing his duty as Director General of the National Signals Bureau. On the strength of this incontrovertible evidence, we must state without fear of contradiction that the Attorney General has no basis whatsoever for his earlier claims. Indeed, the major reason for which Mr. Dubois is standing trial stems from allegations made by Yoko, which suggested that cyber defense system procured in 2020 was never supplied. Yet, the supplier itself says and has refuted this claim in black and white. This contradiction leaves one to wonder on what grounds exactly is the Attorney General prosecuting this case. Friends of the media, this Dubois trial is not mere a courtroom drama. It carries profound national security implications that cannot be ignored. And that is why most of us are very interested in this matter. And we think even the president should be interested. At the heart of this case is a sophisticated cyber defense system, one designed to protect Ghana's sovereignty in the digital space. By putting its procurement and deployment under public trial, the state risks exposing sensitive operational details of our national security apparatus to both local and foreign adversaries. Already, through media sensationalism, the public has been given more information than is prudent about the system, its cost, its contractual origins, and now conflicting claims about its delivery. In the intelligence world, such information is gold. Cyber defense systems thrive on confidentiality. Once their capabilities, scope, and vulnerabilities are debated openly in court and splashed across headlines, they are weakened. This is why many advanced democracies avoid dragging matters of national security infrastructure through open trials. Instead, they rely on classified reviews, discreet parliamentary oversights, or quiet settlement with suppliers. Ghana should not be different, should be no different. Even more worrying is the revelation that this system is reportedly in use by our national security to trap IP addresses and monitor cyber threats. If this is accurate, then the Attorney General, by pressing forward with this prosecution, risks undermining the effectiveness of a tool that safeguards the state from espionage, cybercrime, and terrorist coordination. So again, the question to the intelligent Ghanaian public is this: should a system designed to defend the republic from cyber threats be laid bare in open court for partisan political gain? Should the credibility of our intelligence operations be jeopardized merely to satisfy a narrative of anti-corruption crusading? And what message are we sending to our foreign partners if we cannot protect the confidentiality of sensitive security contracts? This posture by the Attorney General is not only legally shaky, but strategically reckless. In pursuing a media-driven prosecution, he risks trading national security for political optics. That is a bargain Ghana cannot afford. Our case today is simple, yet urgent. Ghana cannot afford a justice system that sacrifices fairness for politics. Nor can we afford an Attorney General who gambles with national security for optics. The Dubois trial is not just about one man. It is about the credibility of our justice system, the sanctity of due process, and the safeguarding of sensitive state security infrastructure. We insist that justice must never be reduced to theater, nor should it be waged in the media. When prosecutions are pursued recklessly, they risk not only destroying lives, but also undermining the very institutions they claim to protect. When matters that touch on the core of national security are handled carelessly, the price is paid not by politicians, but by the ordinary Ghanaian, whose safety depends on those very systems. And that is where we come in. We therefore call on the Attorney General to immediately reevaluate his posture on this matter. If the supplier of the system has confirmed delivery, and if the national security apparatus is indeed using the equipment, then the honorable and responsible path is to bring this matter to a close. Justice is not served by clinging to an untenable case. It is served by courageously admitting the truth and protecting the national interest above partisan expediency. We demand clarity, transparency, and above all, respect for the rule of law. Ghana must not become a country where trials are scripted for television, while the real work of justice is neglected in the courts. Nor should we allow ourselves to become a nation where political survival takes precedence over national security. We want to remind government that corruption cannot be fought with selective prosecutions, media trials, or reckless disregard to state security. It can only be defeated when law is applied fairly, consistently, and the spirit of true accountability. Anything less is not justice. It is a betrayal of the people's trust. We, the parties with our representation in Parliament, stand firm in our resolve to hold duty bearers accountable and to defend the pillars of democracy, justice, and national security. The Attorney General must choose, pursue truth and fairness, or continue down a path that erodes trust, endangers security, and weakens our republic. Ghana deserves better. The people deserve justice, and the future demands nothing less. In summary, oral seems to have become a tool for political persecution, and some elements within this government are using it to settle personal scores. It is mind-baffling that Honorable Ken Dapa, who was the minister responsible for national security, and which the National Signals Bureau was under him, is not a witness to this case. You can judge for yourself. We want to call on the Attorney General to investigate this matter himself under his office, to ensure that a thorough investigation is done, because we think that Yoko did a shoddy job. Because it's still strange that even the national security is very quiet on this matter. From day one, national security itself has been quiet on this matter. And the AG should stop this media trial and get resolved, as he's not applying justice to this case, making every individual look criminal even before court. The AG must withdraw the matter, investigate properly, and if any serious evidence is found, use the proper provisions outlined in the Security and Intelligence Act 20. That is Act 1030, Section 26 and 27. Should be the process within which this case must be dealt with. Because you see, when it's an issue of national security, you don't use the same open court to handle it. And the Securities and Intelligence Act 2020, Section 26 and 27, talks about a CJ setting up a committee to investigate this matter. And that's why things happen in the security. We don't just go to court over these matters, because most of these are very sensitive and classified information. We cannot afford to fight this fight in the media. This is about Ghana, and this is about all of us. We stand united to ensure accountability as parties with our representation in government. We stand with the citizens, and anything that is in the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian is what we stand for. Thank you, and may God help our homeland Ghana to make it great and strong. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, I know maintenance. We are ready.